Good morning. How is everybody? You guys good? I have just a quick announcement to make. So one of the small businesses that's over there in that little plaza there on Palmetto approached me this morning and asked if we could just be considerate not to park in that little lot there. Anyone who's parked there today, it's fine. But after today, they have customers and clients that come in 9:30, like while we're here, and they don't have anywhere to park, right? So while we're in yoga, could we park here, like on the street? There's lots of other places. You could park behind Starbucks in Meisner for free and walk over. But they just asked, that's a private parking lot, and it's like a tow-away zone. And they haven't done the towing. They don't really want to do the towing. But I said that I would announce it today so that in the future we could be more considerate and then, be in community together, right? So just for the future, that little parking lot there is for private small business, and I want to respect their right to do business, right? So just take that into consideration. If that's been your go-to parking spot, maybe you come out on the street, or, there's all up this street, and Meisner. Lots of other places that we can leave our car for the hour. Is that cool? You guys hear that? Yeah, okay. Awesome, let's get on our feet. It's a little humid. Yeah? Hello? Put a little volume on the music. Okay, thank you. All right, good morning. Let's stand up at the top of the mat. Bring your feet together. Let the big toes touch, but don't make your ankle bones jam into each other. Lift and spread all of your toes. You have like a really nice footprint. You can just feel yourself standing right here, right now. Feel the texture of the mat beneath your feet. Feel how solid the ground feels beneath you. And then let's begin to rise from there, the arches of the feet, which means maybe you shift a little weight toward the outer edges, the pinky toe sides. The quadriceps lift, so the energy rises through the legs. We can even pick up the pelvic floor. You can lift the heart. You can roll your shoulders back a little bit and hold your head high. Yeah, welcome to your body. It just took a second to adjust and align, and then here we are. Let's see if we can remember how this feels. It might even have a little bit of weight in the heels, right? So that we're not leaning forward, we're not head forward, but that we're actually like just standing right above the heels with a little weight in the toes. And I know all of this seems really nitpicky, right? But it's important. We get off center and we don't realize it. And then our yoga helps us come back to center. So as you stand here, let's begin to breathe a little more deeply. Yeah, breathe like it's good to be alive. Breathe like your whole body can be involved in the breath. So it's not just the chest rising and falling, and it's not just the belly expanding, it's all of it. It's the back body, it's the rib cage, it's the movement of the diaphragm. Now let's move and breathe. Inhale, arms reach. And then bring your hands to your heart for a second. Just take a moment to notice how you feel in this moment. Did a little bit of fear arise in you as that gentleman walked by? Was that the first reaction, or maybe was it compassion? Like, oh gosh, He's going through it. I feel for him. Right? What is our first instinct? How can we check ourselves? Take one more breath with that. Sit with that for a moment. And then we're going to clear it. Good morning. Shabbat Shalom, my friends. All right. Inhale. Arms reach again. Exhale. Let's forward fold. Lift halfway on the in-breath. Then let's go to plank. We're going to step our feet back. Put the hands down on the earth. Lower down nice and slow. Come up, lay it onto the belly, and then inhale for cobra. Let's stay on the belly. And then lower the chest as you exhale. Again, inhaling, cobra pose. Lengthen back through your legs, forward through the chest. And then exhale, release. One last time. Inhale, cobra. Root the tops of the feet down. Widen the collarbones. Yep, exhale, release. Let's tuck our toes and find our first downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Right? And so down dog is like an upside down V. We want to make sure that we are using just as much of our flexibility as we use our strength. So be aware, sometimes the ribs kind of poke out of the front body. Pull them in a little bit for support. Sometimes the knees go a little soft because the hamstrings are tight. Let's see if we can straighten the legs a little bit more. Take a deep breath in. Push a little bit through your arms. Make them straight and strong. So we're just trying to create some length. And then we're going to look at the hands and start to walk our feet forward. And sometimes I say something and it just awakens an action that you weren't doing. It doesn't mean you weren't doing it wrong, right? Lift halfway, inhale. Fold deeply, exhale. And now with a flat back, we'll rise up to standing. So lift your head and chest, start to reach the arms up. And then pull your hands right to heart center. Good. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Lift halfway on the in-breath. Let's go to plank and lower on the out-breath. Take it to the belly. And then inhale one time for cobra. Do all the things. And then exhale right back to downward facing dog. So we're starting to create a little bit of a flow. We'll take a few breaths here, and maybe we can use these moments with our breath to remember some of the little things we might have adjusted while we were in down dog last time. Try not to overexploit the shoulders. Press the arms straight. Keep breathing. We'll take one more inhale together. You exhale, look forward. Let's walk our feet up to the top of the mat. Lift halfway on the inhale, and then fold deeply as you exhale. With a flat back, we'll rise as the breath comes in. We reach high to the sky, and then pull that right into your heart. One more time, just like that. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold in. As you breathe in, lift and look forward. As you breathe out, both feet go back and you lower. As you breathe in, take that beautiful cobra back bend. And as you breathe out, find your way to down dog. Take a moment with your body and your breath. We try to infuse both things, right? The movement and the breath become one. So as we stay here in the pose, we lift our hips high and we breathe and we feel. Let the head down. We want to look toward the navel here. Let the neck and the wrinkles in the... I have a dead spot. All right, push back just a little. And then look forward. Let's walk our feet up to the top. Lift halfway on the in-breath. And then fold deeply again. Exhale. Here we're going to bend our knees, sink our hips, and reach the arms for chair pose. It's the first chair. Feet are together if you can. Of course, if your lower back doesn't feel good doing it that way, open your feet a little bit. And then push through both of those footprints. Come all the way up. And then pull your hands back to the heart. Good. Inhale again. Both arms reach. Please drop your right arm down to your right leg. And then take a little stretch over to the right side. We're going to lengthen the left side of the body. I want you to feel the outer edge of your left foot press and the arm reach straight up and out. Opening up through the rib cage. And then let's take that right arm all the way back up as we rise. And then drop the left hand down to the left leg. Just opening up the right side of the body. And just feel that. Feel the push down and the pull up. We're doing two actions to create one. And we breathe a little bit into the sensation. And then left arm will rise all the way out and up. And hands return to our heart center. Good. Inhale, chair pose. Bend your knees, sink your hips. And then on the exhale, let's fold right in. Inhale, lift halfway. Let's stay right here for a moment. Soften your knees. Touch your fingertips down on the floor. And then take the right leg and make a big step back. It's first lunge. You're going to stay on your toes and then look forward and begin to rise up. Facing forward, it's called high crescent lunge. For those of you that are new today, I know we have some new faces. And of course, that doesn't make the rest of you old faces, right? Root down through your feet, draw your legs into your hip sockets, and then lean back just a touch. Start to feel what's going on there. I like what you feel in the front of the right hip flexor. And if you want to enhance that a little more, pull the right hip a little more forward. If it feels like you're sitting in the crease of your left hip, you've got to push up and back out of that. Yep, so if it feels like you're sitting in the crease of your hip, you got to lift up out of that. We did a lot of talking about that last night in teacher training. Good, one more breath. And then go ahead and flow. Hands down, step back, lower. Breathe in through cobra. Breathe out to down dog. We're all going to take one breath here in down dog, and then open your mouth and let out a sound. Make a sigh, just like ah. And then we're just going to look forward and walk up to the top. Feet come together at the top of the mat, and then we lift halfway on the inhale. Fold deeply on the exhale. Bend your knees, sink your hips, show me your chair pose. And then push through your feet. Let's come up, and then the hands come to the heart. Good. Again, inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold in. Lift halfway. Inhale, let's stay. Soften the knees, touch down. So you can take that big lunge back with the left foot. You're on all 5 of your left toes. As you begin to look forward, let's rise up. Arms reach high to the sky. You have to push your feet down and out into the mat, and then at the same time draw your legs into your hip sockets. If you only push out, you lose your balance. If you only squeeze in desperately to hold balance, you lose your balance. We need to ground and integrate to make the poses feel steady and effortless. And then we have moments here at the breath that we enhance. Maybe we lean back. Maybe we come out of the crease of the right hip. And that might mean pushing down into the right heel, lifting your chest and leaning back just a little bit, like literally lifting yourself up out of that hip crease. Let's take one more breath here, and then go ahead and flow. Hands down, step back lightly, lower slowly. Inhale for cobra, exhale, downward facing. All right. One good deep breath in, and then one little sigh on the exhale. We're going to change it up a little bit. Right foot steps up, left foot turns flat. It's warrior 1. Come on up facing forward. So it feels a little different because the back foot is grounded. That's it. Same idea. Draw the tailbone down, lift the hip points up. And here there's another little motion that we do in the pelvis. We bring the right hip back and the left hip forward just a little bit. Yeah. As the hips and the pelvis recenter, try to center your chest. And then let the arms be fierce, right? Like reach with the arms, reach with the fingers. Maybe we lean back, breathe in. And then exhale, take a flow. Hands down, step back, lower. I know the heat's coming quick, especially if you're in the sun. Breathe in through your back bend. Breathe out as you go to down dog. And then show me warrior on the left foot. So it's left foot steps, right foot flat. Breathe in, rise. Remember, we ground the feet. We push them down and out into the mat, and then we draw the legs into the hips. There's this feeling of push and pull, and eventually it becomes one. At the beginning, when you start playing with the actions, it feels like you're doing one, then you're doing the other, but eventually they merge, and it doesn't actually feel like you're doing either. I see it in a lot of you. Let's ground the back pinky toe for a moment and see if we can bend the left knee just a little deeper. Take a deep breath, reach high, and then exhale, let's flow it out. Hands down, step back, lower. Be gentle with yourself. Breathing and moving is a beautiful thing. It doesn't have to be aggressive. Let's take 2 breaths here in down dog. Just feel your body moving and breathing. Integrating, experiencing, feeling. And then when you're ready, you're going to look forward and start to walk your feet up to the top of the mat. Feet together, inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, sink your hips. And then push right up into it's Urdhva Hastasana, and then hands to the heart for Tadasana. We're going to stand still for just a moment. Ground into your right leg, but lift your left knee. Even flex the foot and lift the sole of your left foot away from the ground. And then take your hand and place it on top of your knee with all of your fingers flaring open. I want you to feel that pushing. You push your knee into your hand, you push your hand into your knee. You can leave your hand at your heart, your other hand on your hip. But see if you can find a place where you don't really feel either one. They just merge into each other. It's gentle. It's an interesting thing to become aware of. Now, move the hand to the outside. So same hand, same knee. We're not crossing over because we're going to open out wide to the side. When you get there, I want you to push the leg out, but at the same time push the hand in and create a little heat in the hip. Hold your head up. Remember your same posture. That's it. And then the hand is going to push, but the leg's going to resist, and we're going to come back to center, and then just put it down. Yeah, no drama. Let's try the other side. Open the fingers. I want it to feel like your knee is hitting a wall, right? Your hand is the resistance. Just feel that. How much does the knee push in? Meet it with the exact pressure in your hand. It can be gentle. It doesn't have to be like, right? Like just do it nice. See what it feels like to have 2 actions come together and become one. And move your hand to the outside. We'll start opening wide. Little resistance there. Hand pushes in, knee pushes out. You get a little burn? Anybody get a little burn in the hip? Yeah, let's just work in that for a second. And then let the hand push, but let the leg resist. So you come back kind of in slow motion. Yeah, and then put it down. Good. Inhale, both arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Lift halfway on the inhale. Fold again, please, on the exhale. And then bend your knees, sink your hips, chair pose. Yeah, this is really nice. Go ahead, press through both feet. Let's come all the way up to standing. And then bring the hands into the heart center. Good. Standing in the right leg, lift the left knee. Let's just cross it over. Becomes a figure 4. And then with the hands at the heart, go ahead and sit back. So it's kind of like chair pose. Let's say hello to your left hip this morning. Yeah, everybody feel that? A little bit in the left hip? Yes, no? It's okay to talk to me. I know you guys will talk to me. All right, so we're working on our balance here, and we're feeling into that left hip. Sit back a little more. Send the hips back behind you, and then reach your arms forward. Steady and effortless. Start to reach the arms up, stand up, and release that left foot. Good, let's do the other side, same idea. Just crossing right ankle over left knee. Put a little flex on the right foot, and then go ahead and sit like it's chair pose. Hands at the heart center. Take your time here. There's little wobbles that you have to manage. And we manage by rooting down and integrating in. Right? There's an out and an in that's happening all the time. Yoga requires you to pay attention to the subtleties. Sit back a little more, start to reach your arms forward. Feel the back and the forward. Again, double actions, becoming one. Yep, just feeling sensations, not overreacting to them. And then start to reach up high, stand tall, and you can release that right foot back to the earth, hands to your heart. Let's take a flow. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Back to what we know. Lift halfway, inhale. Go to plank and lower on the exhalation. Just like you did before. Breathing in through a beautiful back bend. And then exhaling as we find our way into downward facing dog. Okay. Right foot steps, stay on the left toes. Let's come on up. We're going to come up facing forward for high crescent. And then immediately turn open to your left side for warrior two. So go ahead and turn open to the left. We're going to focus a little bit about what's going on in the right foot, the right knee, the right hip. Now I know you're looking at the middle finger of your right hand, and so all of your attention seems to be in the front of the body. Without changing your gaze, can you shift your attention and your awareness to what's happening in the left side of your body? Wow. All of a sudden, are there things you want to do with that left side? Like lift under the left armpit, reach out to the fingers. Ground a little more through the pinky toe of the left foot. Right? It's an amazing thing when we can spread our awareness out even more over one thing. Reverse the warrior, left arm down, right arm up. Enjoy the space in the side waist. As you reach up, can you bend the front knee and open it just a touch wider? One more breath here. And then please come into side angle. Right forearm onto the right thigh. Left bicep over the ear. Utthita Parsvakonasana. Now, there's a really beautiful way to help open this hip. So we draw the tailbone down just a little bit. And then we push into the right elbow. So we lengthen the right rib cage. So lift this up a little bit. Yep. Yeah. Nice work, everyone. A straight line from the pinky toe of the left foot all the way to the finger of the left hand. And then we'll rise back up to warrior two. All right. Go ahead and take a flow. Hands come down, step back lightly, lower slowly. We're starting to get things a little bit cooking in the hips. Yep. Inhaling through your back bend, exhaling as you find your way to downward facing dog, and then please just breathe. We push from the hands, we lift from the hips, we extend back through the legs. And then the left foot steps forward, we'll stay on the right toes. We rise for high crescent lunge. Come on up facing forward. Once you feel steady, turn open to the right, creating warrior two. The back heel pivots flat. So it's left foot forward. Yep. There we go. And I know at first we kind of gaze so seriously into the middle finger of that left hand. We feel what's going on in the left leg, but then open your awareness. Start to feel what's happening in every cell of your body, all of your muscles, all of your bones. Can you create a little bit more balance and equanimity? Physically, mentally, emotionally. The front knee can open a little bit wider. Put a little weight toward the pinky toe on the front leg. That's it. And then we'll reverse the warrior. Right arm down, left arm up. Create space in the side waist. We want to feel what it feels like to keep that left rib cage and side waist long, because when you come to side angle later, we want to still feel long in that side of the body, not scrunched. Take one more breath here, and then make your transition to side angle, where left forearm goes on the left thigh, and then the right bicep comes over the ear. It's really easy to sit heavy and dump into the left shoulder, but I want you to push down to rise up. Feel the collarbones widen. And then drop the right rib cage down. Soften the left rib cage. Yeah. Fierceness in the arms. Take a little drawing down in the tailbone. See if it helps you open the chest a little more. That's it. Then come on up, warrior two. And then go ahead and take your flow. Step back lightly, lower slowly. Try to enjoy the moving and the breathing. And once again, we find our way into downward facing dog. Okay. Come up high on your toes. And then soften into your knees. Let's come into a floating tabletop. The knees hover over the mat. You might walk your hands back one step. Hover there for just a moment. I know it's already hot. We don't need to get any more heat. And then softly put your knees down. Good. Right leg is going to extend out behind you. Right leg extends out behind you. Keep it lifted in the air. Let your heel be the same height as your hip. Make your leg as straight as you can. So I want you to feel like you can push back. It's not how high you go, it's how straight. Push back and straighten the knee. Yeah. There's a fierceness and there's a support that comes from the quadriceps. So we extend and lengthen all the way back. Keep the weight even in both hands. And then go ahead and squeeze that knee into your belly. Squeeze it in tight, tight, tight. Keep looking forward. Yeah, keep looking forward. Push into your hands, broaden your chest. Yes, so good. Now that right leg is going to lift out to the side. Keep it bent. Keep it bent. Keep your heel really close to your glutes and lift from your knee. I want you to get that little burn. It's not the foot that's going up, it's the knee that's going up. Open the hip up. The leg is out to the side and the knee is high. Yeah, there we go. All right, now extend your right leg out to the right and gently put it down on the ground. Let's walk our hands back toward our knee and come into gate pose. Not bad. Inhale, arms reach. This one always feels nice. Go ahead and let your right arm drop to your right leg. Take a little side body stretch. Lengthening upward, breathing and moving. Trying to enjoy the experience of the breath and the movement in the body. Let's come back up to center, arms like a T. And then left hand goes down to the ground. You'll be off your mat. It has to be a little bit out to the side. And then float the right leg up. Again, feeling the work in the outer hip. Flex your foot so you feel like you're lifting from your heel. Pick it up as high as your own hip. There we go. Lift that leg as high as your hip. And then take the bicep over the ear. Again, extending into your side body. And integrate your core here. Tailbone down, front ribs in. Feel that? A little bit of integration around your spine. We're laying our bodies out sideways. We need to support the spine. And then the arm comes up, the leg goes down, and we can rise back up to center. Nicely done. Bring your hands forward, put them on the mat. Keeping your right leg out to the right, go ahead and sit back in child's pose. Yep, with the leg out to the side, just sit back in child's pose. Lay yourself down for a moment and rest. Okay. When you're ready, come back up onto your left knee. Walk your hands forward and pull your right leg in for tabletop pose. Let's take a few rounds of cat-cow or dancing lion. Just a moment of just pure organic movement. Just letting all the parts of your body move. The wrists, the shoulders, the elbows, all of the vertebra and the spine, the knees, right? Just everything. The hips. Let the hips move a little side to side. Lots of freedom here. And then we'll find our center in tabletop pose, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Go ahead and extend your left leg back. Tuck the toes, and then lift that leg high. Foot is flexing behind you. I want you to make the knee as straight as you can and push back through your heels so that leg feels solid. Arms are straight. And try not to lift your left hip too much. It's not the hip that went up, it's just the leg that went up. That's how we get a little heat in the glute, you know? And then go ahead and squeeze that left knee into the belly. Keep looking forward. It's not a tuck here. We don't want to drop the chin to the chest. I want you to keep the core integration. I want you to keep your chest strong. Keep looking forward. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then we're going to take that left knee up and out to the side. Knee stays bent, so don't open behind you. Knee is bent. Squeeze your heel towards your glute and just pick it up to the side. That's it. It's weird to go out to the side. Hold it up there for a moment till you get that little burn again in the outer hip. And then we're going to extend that leg straight out and place it on the ground. Beautiful. Walk your hands back. Come into gate pose. Inhale, arms reach. And then left arm down on the left leg. Take a little stretch to your side. This is a gift, right? This is an opportunity to come back to your breathing. When we pause the movement, we come back inside. We bring our awareness and our attention back to the practice. I know that sometimes the movement is a distraction. For some of us, sometimes the movement is the focal point. And so just take a moment and be aware of yourself. Let's come up and over to the other side. Through the center as a T, right hand reaches down to the earth. We'll start lifting up that left leg. Flex the foot. Lift from the heel, straighten the knee. See if you can get the leg as high as your hip. And then take the bicep over the ear. Streamline your body. Watch the front ribs. Yep. Abdominal contraction, like the front, the rectus abdominis. It contracts and it flattens the front body. And the tailbone draws a little bit down, lengthening the QL, right? We got support around the spine here. And then the arm comes up, the foot goes down. Let's rise back up to center. Do it with that core integration. Yes, hands forward. Plant your hands on the ground. And then sit back for that extended leg, child's pose. Interesting. It's an Emily move. She subbed for me a few weeks ago. Always giving credit where it comes from, right? She's one of my girls. Yeah. Now, nice and easy when you're ready, you lift back onto the right knee, back up onto your hands, and then just gently pull your left leg back in. Take a moment, move your body. Either cat-cow or dancing lion, whatever suits you, but free organic movement where you trust yourself and you're not relying on my cues, but you're just feeling and breathing and moving. That is the moment where you become your own greatest teacher. You trust your own intuition. And then we find center in our tabletop. Go ahead and step your right foot forward. And then shift your hips back a little bit so your hips stay over your left knee. Can you feel that? So it's more like a Captain Morgan lunge than like a yoga lunge or a lizard lunge, yeah? And then I want you to take your right toes and turn them out 45 degrees. And then roll off the big toe onto the pinky edge of your foot and let your knee drop open. Both hands can be on the inside here. So the knee is bent. The front leg is bent. And turning open. Yep. That's it. So we sit back a little bit as we play with that opening of the right hip. So sit the hips back, Mindy. Yeah, you stay back, and now. Right? So just, that's it. Just so you would what it feels like to turn that leg open. Let's keep both hands on the ground so we're not doing spinal twist here, and we're actually really letting it just be an external rotation of that right hip. And then go ahead and start walking your hands a little forward, straighten your right foot, and come into a true lizard lunge. Both hands are on the inside. Now squeeze the right knee into the right shoulder. Squeeze the right knee into the right shoulder. If you want to go down on your elbows, you can. If you have props with you and you want to put a prop under your elbows, you can. But there's a sense of integration here. A squeezing in. Feels a little different than when you turn the leg open. See if you can get the knee to squeeze your shoulder. Walk your foot forward. It'll be easier. Now. Yep. Not so easy. But there's a strength that we want in there, just like we want to have flexibility. And now if you would, come back up onto your hands, please. Stay exactly where you are with the hips nice and low, but now turn the right toes out again. Roll on the pinky toe edge of your foot and let the knee drop open. So it's not necessarily wider, it's just turning the foot so we have toe, knee, and hip on the same plane. Yeah. And don't be afraid to bend the right knee so you can bring your hips down low. You can be on your hands. Or on your forearms. It's up to you if you want to drop down in there. And you can even slide your left leg back a little bit. Just feel what's going on in there. Sometimes my wrists get a little cranky doing this, so I make fists and I get up on my knuckles. This way. Yep, there you go, Carol. Where's your breath? Alright, you guys look like you've had enough of that. Let's go ahead and lift back up on our hands. Let's turn the right toes forward. Tuck your left toes under and then come into a one-leg down dog. That means right leg is going to go all the way up high in the air behind you. Yep. Nicely done. Lift high. Now, as you lift that right leg high, can you sink the left heel low? Even out the weight in both hands, and then go ahead and lift the right hip up and stack it on top of the left. Let's open up the hip a little in the front. Yes. Now I want you to make your leg as straight as possible. Most of us go for a bend here. Make it as straight as possible, and then pull it on a diagonal over the left corner of your mat, the back left corner of your mat. Oh, over, high in the air. It's up and over. Oh yeah, open up that hip flexor. Push a little extra through your right hand so you feel the push-pull on that side. Oh, it looks like it feels so good on the little jelly. Go ahead, step that foot back down on the mat, and let's take a flow. Inhale, push back. Exhale, come forward and lower. Inhale, cobra or upward facing. And then exhale, take it back to downward facing. Alright, float your table for 2 breaths. That's it, just 2. Let the knees hover for a second, and then we put our knees down onto the mat. Left foot's going to step forward. And I do it from tabletop so that you can keep your hips back over the right knee. Keep the hips back. That's it. Now, the left foot should be, both knees should be about 90 degrees. Can you imagine that? Like, so you have like a square angle on both of your knees. Your hips are back a little bit. And then we're going to just take the left toes and turn them out. So the heel doesn't move, just the toes turn out. And you roll on the pinky edge of that foot and let your knee drop open. So the toe, the knee, and the hip are all on that same plane. Hands go to the inside and we just feel. What does that feel like? My hip's opening. It feels very different when you have the hip flexor on the other side pulling, so I'm actually eliminating that in this first one. So Pam, send your hips back. Yeah, that's better. Or pull your knee forward. Yeah, just let the left leg isolate that external rotation and feel it. That's it. Breathe. All right, that feels good. then we're going to turn the toes forward. Walk our hands a little bit forward so we come into a more traditional lizard lunge. And as you bring your hands forward a little bit, feel that squeeze of the left knee onto the left shoulder. You can do it on your hands. Some of you can drop down onto your elbows. Some of you have props that you can drop down onto. But feel the squeezing in action. It's in opposition to the turning out action that we just had, right? So just feel for a moment. What does it feel like to exploit flexibility, and what does it feel like to integrate strength? You might find that you have a preference of one over the other, you know? It's just interesting to see. And I think when yoga makes us do all of the things, we start to find that we have a neutrality about all of it. It's like, yeah, we like the stretch and we like the strength, and then eventually our bodies become a little more balanced. We don't have so much judgment. We become more comfortable in the space of the witness. So just allow it to be what it is. Now from here, we're going to turn that left knee open, and it changes things. The foot turns, then we roll on the pinky edge, and we let the knee drop open a little bit. Yeah, just be in that. Some of you are like, oh yeah, and some of you are like, what the hell is she doing? Why so long? I see you. I see all of you. If there's something about this that tells you no, listen. It's okay to back off. It's okay to modify. You have to honor your body in every way possible. Not every move works for everybody. Attitude is everything. You're here, you're moving, you're breathing, you're getting what you need. It's not about accomplishing every pose. Let's take another breath here. Let out a little sigh. Start to work your way back up onto your hands. You got to straighten out the left leg and then tuck the right toes. And then that left leg will be free to go to the one leg down dog. Like, oh, just say it. Say it when you get that leg up in the air. I know there's a release of tension there. And then let's reintegrate our down dog. Weight even in our hands. As that left leg rises, the right heel sinks. And then we're going to straighten the leg as much as we can. Lift the hip high. Turn the hips open so the left hip stacks on top of the right one. And then just with that straight leg, reach back behind you. Reach over the right edge of your mat. Oh, so nice and long on that left side body. Just breathe. We'll take one more inhale here. And then just so softly and gently put your foot down. Let's take a flow. Come forward into plank. And then exhale, lower down. Inhale for your back bend, and exhale. Find your way right to downward facing dog. Okay. Let's go ahead and step the right foot forward to the hands, but put the left knee down. Now I want you to take your right foot and walk it across the mat. We're going to come into awkward pigeon. So we're going to sit onto the right hip, and then we're going to bend the left knee behind us. Let the left knee turn out a little bit. Yeah, so both knees are bent. And then go ahead, really bend it behind you. And then lift up your chest, and then turn towards your right knee and fold. Relax that back foot. Relax the toes. And of course, if this doesn't feel right on your hip or your knee, then you can do it on your back. You can do a reclining pigeon pose. I want you to feel like there's a little extra weight on that right leg, the right hip. Let's just take one more breath here. Sigh a little bit on the exhalation. And then we'll rise on the inhale. Stay where you are, but just walk your hands to the left so you're facing your right foot. And then fold your chest towards your foot or your ankle. Changes things. Yeah? So some of you look like you're still folding towards your knee. We're not leaning to the right anymore. We're folding straight out in front of the foot. Yep. A little more challenging, which is why we needed to move the hips in so many different directions. All right, go ahead, take one more breath here, and then sigh a little on the exhale, soften. And then walk back up onto your hands. Stay facing the left side, but take your hands behind you. Lean back onto your hands. And then just lift your knees and kind of swing them up and over to the other side. Your feet kind of stay where they are, but the knees kind of just, nope, facing left. Yep, there you go. And then we lift our chest and turn toward the left knee and fold. Notice if any of the little muscles inside are clenching or gripping. See if you can work with them. Work with your breath and let them go. Some of our tensions are on the surface, and some of our tensions are deep, deep inside of us. And so in these slower, longer holds, we have a chance to work a little more deeply and use the breath to help soften. Make sure that back leg is bent behind you. Yeah, Ariane, bend it. Yeah, it'll feel a little better. Let's take one more breath here. And then super slow, start to rise up. So you're looking at your left foot, your left ankle, and then we kind of fold straight in front of us, right? Not to the side, not leaning one way, but really trying to center ourselves and fold toward the foot in front. And I know that that's not so easy. Feels a little awkward because we don't do this often. That is why it's called awkward pigeon, right? And we're going to just breathe and sigh and soften. Spreading our awareness and our consciousness throughout the body, not just in the major muscle or just the outer form, but actually into the sensitivity and the feels. Let's take that last sigh. Deep breath in, open mouth, let it out. And then you walk back up onto your hands. Start walking your hands toward the front of your mat. Tip your knees so they turn around with you and just face the front. Come to simple cross legs. Hips should feel pretty open. So simple cross legs. Does anybody feel like the hips feel a little easier here? Yeah, when you do a lot of yoga, they actually call this easy pose. When you don't do a lot of yoga, I don't think we would call it easy pose, right? And so we sit with our legs crossed, and then we try to pay attention to our alignment. Do you remember the support that you were giving your spine when we were laid out to the side? Can you find that here? Tailbone slightly down, front ribs in, so we're rising up. There's no like slouching down into the body. We're like rooting the tail and lengthening up through the spine. There's a regalness, there's a confidence, there's like a joyfulness that comes from this posture. When we slouch forward, it's like a heavy heart. When we overextend the chest, it's like an egomaniac, right? And so we want to find that centered place where we are just in our own energy and we are holding our own. We feel a sense of who we are and where we are in the moment. See if you can find that energetically, physically, mentally, emotionally. These are the ways that yoga works. It's not easy to carve time out to do this work on your own, so we do it in community. Sitting here together like this for a few moments feels supported. We are held by each other. Soften your facial expression. Soften behind your eyes. in. Take a deep breath here. Let that sigh come out gently. Soften your posture. Drop your chin to your chest. Melt a little bit. Slouch a little bit. Notice the difference. On your next inhale, we'll rise back up to something that feels a little bit more sustainable. And then take your left hand to your right knee. Actually, as you do this, change the crossing of your legs. We've been there for a little bit. So left hand to right knee. Might feel a little awkward. And then we put the right hand behind us like a second spine. And we do a gentle rotation. Just like sitting straight up. See if you can turn the belly button, turn the chest, and then just gently look over your shoulder. Don't crank your neck. And then just come around to the other side, just so soft, so gentle. Go ahead, right hand, left knee, left hand behind you, like you're creating a little support behind you, and then just like find the work from the inside. Turn the belly, turn the ribs, turn the chest, and a gentle gaze over your shoulder. Don't overuse your arms, work from your core. The hands are there to enhance your work, not to make it happen. That's it. And then we'll return to center, uncross the legs, and go ahead and lay yourself down. Let's put the soles of our feet together and let the knees drop open, Supta Baddha Konasana. Even here, we can take the arms up overhead. If you want to cover your face with a towel or your hat or your shirt or something, sometimes a little vitamin D isn't bad. If you're in the shade, you don't have to worry about a thing. But here, we just soften, right? The arms rest on the ground above the head. The elbows are soft. The belly moves freely. Look for a widening of the rib cage. And look for that front to back movement. So your back ribs touch the mat. When you breathe, your chest rises and falls. Just feel all of it. Yoga will teach you how to breathe again, like you did when you were an infant, before trauma happened and before the world hardened you on the outside and shortened your breath. Let's bring our arms right and out like a T to the sides, extending in both directions. And then go ahead and lift your knees up. And just widen your feet. So take the feet out to the edges of the mat. Go super wide with the heels and let your knees drop in toward the midline. Just soften the crease of the hips. Your feet are wide at the edges of the mat. Think about that. Your feet have to walk out wide to the edges and your knees drop into the middle. We're doing the opposite. And then I really want your breath to move down a little lower. Feel the lower back breathing. Feel the crease of the hips softening. You can even draw your tailbone down slightly. Let's all take a long, slow, deep breath here. And a complete exhale. And then let your knees return to something more neutral, your feet to something more neutral. And then just slide your legs straight out. Turn your palms to face up. And just let yourself be. begin our awakening. And I love that we can all do that in our own way, in our own time, stretching, moving, breathing, or just staying in the stillness for another moment. Feel for what suits you. And eventually, I'd say in the next minute or two, we'll all find our way to seated. If you're stretching and moving, it's okay. If you're still in the stillness, it's okay. But eventually, we'll come on up together so we can close the practice. How are we feeling? We okay? You guys okay? Yeah? Smiles? That's good. You don't need to clap. Just want to know that you're okay. As we move through the summer, I want to be really careful and aware of the humidity and the temperature. It wasn't too bad this morning. It even have a little breeze right now. So capture it, capture it. Can you feel it? Yeah. Allow that to cool you. Yoga helps us not miss those sweet little things in life, right? We open our awareness. Let me shut this. Okay. And so again, we find ourselves in this moment where we can pay attention. And what I ask of you here is that you just prepare yourself in this moment for whatever's next. Sit up in a way that reflects how you want to move to the next thing. And then bring your hands together at the heart. We'll take a deep breath and close with the beautiful and sacred sound of Om. Can you breathe in with me? Om. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om peace, peace, perfect peace. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy and free. May the actions of my life and all of our lives somehow contribute to that happiness and that freedom for all. May we all walk this earth with a little more awareness. May we be a little more sensitive. May we open up our horizons beyond what is right in front of us. Be willing to look deeper into the subtleties of what is there. Be a little more sensitive so we connect with ourselves and with each other. It is these little subtleties that we take from the mat that may actually bring us to a point in life where we as human beings and all sentient beings might actually know peace. Peace, peace, perfect peace. Namaste. Namaste, everyone. In front of me and back of me, to the side of me, far away from me. Namaste. Namaste, everyone. Have a beautiful Saturday. Thank you for coming. I have magnets and passes if anyone is interested. Come on up and see me. I also have the sign-in sheet for the newsletter. And the other two sign-in boards are kind of going around, so if somebody would be so kind as to bring them up front and center. Yeah, I'd like to come up and see me. This weekend is teacher training weekend, so I have the modules open from 1 to 7 today and tomorrow. If you're a yoga teacher and you would like to up-level your skills, we're doing the teacher toolbox this weekend. So it's how we use our eyes, our ears, our hands, our bodies, our all of our tools, our voices, right? How do we use all of our tools in our toolbox to connect more deeply with our students and teach better? 1 to 7 today and tomorrow. It's for teachers only. It wouldn't make sense if you're not a yoga teacher. That content wouldn't make sense. But I would love to have you if you would like to study a little more deeply than you have, and you would like a little refresher. If you've been out of training for a long time, come and see me. You can register online or just come talk to me. I'll give you the details. Okay.
Let the dogs out.
I'll take the time out. You got the card. You have the card, right? Did you have the card before? The card. Do you have it before? Okay, yeah. So you definitely have it. I can drop the card.
Pretty spry there, man. I don't know, man. It's no joke what you just did.
Connects to that underground speaker. Is that an underground speaker? Oh, that's
No,
not you.
it's from the park. Just
that's
after,
all-
yeah, there. I don't know what.
Literally
they're-
last week or two.
Oh, yeah, because
It's like background
I remember
music.
seen it before.
No, neither have we. So, and they didn't tell us. So, just work with it.
Yeah, right. I mean, just an extra.
Little background music.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you're good. You're good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Enjoy your weekend. to the hotel. And we did yoga there. Bye, Kelly. You know Kelly, right? Kelly Wick? James's wife. High school sweethearts. You know what? Not your not your cup of yogi?
A little too much ego there for me. See you, Doc. Have a good day.
I tell you, I did that last week. I was in Chicago, did that course, you know, on the intercept.
Yeah?
Yeah, so I still talk a lot of people do it, some of the founders of it and stuff, and got more information about it. But it's pretty remarkable. I mean, you don't need it yet. It's it's been phenomenal. So there's 5-year data, 10-year data is looking the same, where 75% have significantly more 50%.
And you think that flexion extension CT scan would kind of rule it in or out, or?
No, not necessarily. It just tells you if there's mechanical instability. You have a lot of level disease, so it's you don't want to do every level, of course, but people have done like 3 levels. And
With the intercept?
oh yeah, several surgeons had it done after their own spine surgery. Their own and
I mean,
one guy's back. He retired already on disability. He's one of the speakers for the company. And I told you, he moved to Utah. He skis 40 or 50 days a year. He's at my 69. He's a year older than me. After 3 surgeries, including a fusion. So it's pretty incredible for the right case. You
Gives
know.
me hope.
Yeah, I know. It's good to keep
Gives
in
me
mind.
hope.
I'm not pushing on people, but a few people I've seen now since then, even this week, say there's a little video they have.
Will insurance cover it? No,
yeah, insurance covers it. Well, not every insurance, but most of them you can get to cover it. Especially if you had over 6 months of pain and blah blah.
Do you think we could kind of narrow
Medicare
down
definitely
what
does.
level would be the best to put it at?
Yeah, that or a couple of look at the modic changes. Did you have an updated MRI? I can't remember.
No, I have to get that.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
Okay.
Update MRI and then your pain pattern. And then, it's not hard to do. The procedure's not hard to do. It's mostly just deciding the indications, which ones to do.
And
There's so many people out there that have that kind of condition where...
yeah, where like, I mean, physical change is physical change. There's nothing
exactly.
you can do about it.
Yeah, exactly. There's been no real proven, even FDA's Medicare reimbursed. Reached the criteria to be ever for axial back pain. So it shows you, how revolutionary it is. It's not really caught on yet. I don't know. It's been around 10 months.
And how long is recovery on it?
No, it's hardly at all. 2 days a week,
Yeah,
It should start quieting down. Maybe 2 weeks, it says, but depends. I've had treatments for discogenic pain over the years. Discogenic pain, like burning the inside disc. Also, it didn't make sense because you're making the disc more degenerate. It didn't make sense to me at all, but I did a few, and a few got better, but not remarkable. And then ultimately, they found out that the data on that was corrupted by these guys, a couple of pain doctors in San Francisco that purposely corrupted it to make money off it. Saul Brothers, Arthur and others.
That's crazy.
Anyway, that data that was 20 years ago. Now there's nothing in this realm. And even fusion is just not a great option, of course.
So,
this is so minimal. It's great, 20 minutes a level.
Yeah, and that sounds like
burning it with no downside. It doesn't do anything destructive. You can still do anything else afterwards.
no, and it's not really, it's not.
You're not leaving any implant in. There's
a
So
little
they're
tiny
like that
hole.
big, you know.
Yeah, unlike my last time I went under the knife, which was like an
Oh yeah,
incision,
and even people had previous surgeries. That spine surgeon I knew from, I didn't know him from Connecticut, but he was there at the same time I was there. Another guy in a company there, same thing. They became spokesmen for the company because they were just so.
Oh,
This guy had stopped operating already. He lives in, like, say, he goes around speaking for it, but he's good academic guy from Cleveland Clinic who had his 3 surgeries himself, but skis now. It's off skiing, everything, you know.
Oh,
Yeah, but you're still doing all right. I know you have high pain threshold though.
yeah, that is.
You push yourself. You're probably beyond the limit, but you're still holding on. So
Yeah,
go for it.
Exactly.
It might quiet down. It can quiet down. But the
Let me get that.
data's pretty compelling.
I have to get the other.
Yeah, do that. Come in and take a look.
All right. Thanks, Doc. Yep. What? I don't know who he's talking to. I hate when I see that shit.
Oh yeah. What are they doing at night? That's what I ever wonder. What's that?
Yeah, a lot of them here staying here in this park.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Where?
That's why they put all the tables and chairs and stuff out.
Oh.
A lot of them stay up here.
They actually had, for a little while, they had a portable wash station here too.
Yeah, that was what a waste that was. Good intentions, but they just trashed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Seattle, I know, has done that. I read some article in the New York Times. I'm from Seattle, so no partial to it, but idiots out there have, tried. It's literally recruiting for drug and mental addicts to live in the streets, and
They're not.
Well, they're going to police
They're
themselves
not helping.
too.
They're not.
Yeah.
I don't think that, I think all they're doing is enabling a problem. They're not addressing it. They're not fixing it. They're just enabling it.
Yeah, I'm in a small partner in a hotel out there, a historic hotel, 2 blocks from Amazon headquarters. That during the pandemic, because it emptied out, they closed down the whole town stupidly. They rented out, I don't know, 50 rooms or thing for homeless. So they had people, homeless people or immigrants, anybody who couldn't pay for something. They just gave it to them, about half the rooms. We made some money on it, but then you have to redo the carpets and shit like that afterwards. But then afterwards, it's not really, because there's so freaking many homeless right in that area. It's losing money. It loses money, so they probably sell it at a loss. And the number one person wants to buy it, the city, to make it a free homeless center now. This is a historic gridiron building, 30 stories high, something like that.
Well, we definitely don't have any place.
And that's what we're going to have there.
What?
Oh, it's over this hotel part of it in Seattle. It's a historic hotel, first one, gridiron construction or whatever it was in the 30s, west of the Mississippi anyway. And during the pandemic out there, they put homeless people in the city, rented out rooms to put homeless people in. And so we actually made money on the thing that way when it could have gone broke. Because they just shut down the whole city. Well, now it's still not doing well because it's a homeless level area, the whole stupid city. The way they have it organized, all the buses go with 1/3 street. That's right where it's 2 blocks from the Amazon headquarters. That's how good the location is, and beautiful rooms. I'm gonna stay there a couple times. And now so now we're looking to sell it. Number one offer from the city to make it into a homeless shelter. This is a higher end hotel.
Right.
They're just going to make it a homeless center.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what it'll be, free to attract more people, which is what they do. Because I read the New York Times has written about it.
Because they
saying
want
the
to get them.
reality.
They want to get them
They
off
read
the
about
street.
it. Yeah, they read about it that drugs are free and that it's no penalty. Blah blah. So it just attracts them. There's a couple from Tennessee. Sadly, I mean, they look and they, well, it's better in Portland, or Seattle. So they, ride their car, limp out there, and then boom, attracts them from all over the country.
Yeah,
It's crazy because it's so close.
But they've wanted it. I mean, it's
certain
idiots out
cities
there.
are open to that, and other ones are not. So
Now they've organized it.
And that's the thing. It's so cold out there. You have to house them.
Yeah.
hey, I was wondering where that one was.
Wet, cold, miserable, and that'd be a better solution than what they're doing now.
Buying classic hotels to put them in. Yeah, I think that's probably a better solution.
Like, I'm sure the place was
Now
amazing.
it's one building, a nice
Yes,
building,
it was
pretty cool looking building.
It's going to be done.
Not for sure. Japan,
We didn't
wants to buy, other
overdo
people want to buy, but the best offers from them so far, Seattle, city.
I'm so glad.
Well, their money's green, so, you know.
They're having big lawsuits now, I read.
Oh, and you went to Utah.
Big lawsuits. I hope they get
The
their ass
wedding was
banged
amazing.
from business owners who had businesses around that police precinct that they took over. You know, they just abandoned for 6 months. They took it out and left all papers. So Black Lives Matter off that. They took over the whole district.
For 6 months?
Oh, it's not 6 months. That's how long they let them have it. They said, okay, this is about 6 months. And the business now are suing because the police wouldn't even go in to enforce around the neighborhood. They're afraid, or the city council says it's too PR problem. Don't answer the fire. They lit the place on fire. They flooded them. They ran robbed everything out of them. So they're suing the city.
You should.
It's the unforeseen consequences.
Exactly.
You
You might.
Yeah. And now everybody else. Seattle say, look, pay attention to it sometimes. The city chief of police is a black woman. She quit immediately when that happened. So I can't even run a This is a kind of inconsistency. The mayor, because she was so down. So one of his husbands are very wealthy from Microsoft. That's the guy who's his husband did. He's number 3 or 4 at Microsoft. He's on the top. And she is a city council member, a socialist party, and she spends tax dollars to say don't pay your rent. Don't pay your rent because these guys are making too much money for this many years. Isn't it? Yeah. That's the attitude they have out there.
All right, Doc.
Come here. This is all we have.
Thanks, Doc. I'll talk to you. Sure.
She went to Jackie's class at the studio.
It's not a Mark Ryan special. And he'll keep doing it. He's doing that I don't think I've ever heard it all. One of the first.
Not that you've ever banged an ankle on a piece of steel before, just in case.
Bang it on that.
Trailer hill. Did you put that on?
steps into the garage. Full vertical. Bam! Onto my back.
How?
Just wet, you know, it was just like, just ice. And, I mean, I was completely off the ground, hit the ground. I was,
That's always really good for somebody with a bad back.
Just healed a broken rib.
I was like, I lay there for a second. I go, why? Oh my God, why? Please make this not bad.
Snap something into shape, into
Exactly.
alignment.
Make this not be bad. Just want, please. And I could feel it on the bone, like, you know, but I didn't. I kind of contracted everything, so my head didn't hit.
Yeah.
I think I kind of got lucky. It was like one of those. Whoop! The lesser man broke everything.
Like, yeah.
60-year-old.
That happened to Kenny. He'll be
But I
on the
knew that
ground.
while he was up.
I had a guy that worked for me like 20 years ago. He was big. He's probably 6'2", 230, and his head was as big as his whole body.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
And we were moving stuff from one office to another. And I said, John, you don't have to hurry. So he goes running out, and as he hits the sidewalk, and again, 6'2", 230, his feet go out from underneath him, and he hit so perfectly parallel, and his big bulbous head bounced off the ground. I could feel it on the sidewalk. It was that hard.
But
And he just lay there for like a minute. And like, John, you okay?